Welcome back, all you fragrance fanatics and beauty babes. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day today. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jamie, and I love to talk about perfumes. And today we're going to be talking about some niche perfumes, specifically from the house of Quartana. I got in one of their discovery sets, and I was having so much fun with it. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. So let's get started. I will leave the link below to where I got this perfume discovery kit from. And no, this video is in no way sponsored whatsoever. No, no one told me to make a video. No one is paying me to make a video. I don't get any commissions from any sorts of links on this. This is just something that I thought was it was really fun, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. It all started when I made, I made two separate videos talking about the Quartana Eoent. Eoent is the name of it. I'll put the name here because I can never pronounce that word right. Eoent. I had gotten this along with a bunch of other different mixes of different brands of perfumes and stuff. And I was testing them all out. And this was one of the ones that I thought was really interesting and I liked it. And then I made a second video. What was it called? Clean Girl or Mob Wife? Like, which one are you, Clean Girl or Mob Wife? I made that video. And in that video, I went over this one a little bit more in detail and talked about how much I really enjoyed it. I really like it. And then after that video, the owner of the company contacted me and said, hey, since you like this perfume so much, why don't we just give you a discovery kit for free? I'm like, sure. And then that was that. That was that. That's the story. Like, there was no follow-up, like, oh, could you make a video about these? Or, oh, could you talk about this? We'll pay you this, or you get commission from this. Like, nothing like that whatsoever. It was just, hey, we noticed you like our perfumes. Do you want a sample kit? Sure. Got the sample kit in. The end. That was it. So I'm under no obligations to even make a video. But they were so much fun that I wanted to. And they came in this little pouch here, and we will go over the one that I am most familiar with, which is the Eoent, and I really hope I'm saying that name right. But this one is definitely unisex, and this one is the most interesting. I feel like it's so unique because it's got, in the notes, we've got gasoline, and there's suede, spices, some vetiver, amber, and I would have never thought I would have liked gasoline in a perfume, It's like, gasoline? Like, what? But it just does something to the perfume that it smells so, it's like, it's beast mode. It's beast mode. It's very interesting and unique. It has these sweet warm spices, this soft suede, and beautiful amber. And it's also got this aromatic quality to it, and it's powdery, but something about that gasoline that just, I don't know. It's so hard to describe, it's gasoline. Like, it's so hard to describe why specifically. But it just does something to the whole perfume that just makes it really interesting and addictive. Addictive is the word I'm looking for. Very, very, you just keep on smelling your arm. It's just so addictive smelling. And when I smell this, I just instantly think of like mob wife energy, a very confident, strong, independent woman wearing this perfume. And I really enjoy it. I love discovery kits in general because it's almost like sitting down to read a book. Like, you just get transported. There's like this whole, table full of different scents, and you're discovering that you get transported to these different worlds and places and times, and it's just so much fun. I really enjoyed discovery kits. But anyway, so the next one we're going to be talking about is Forest of the Golden Dream. And before I go into this, I always, whenever I play with different perfumes for the first time, I always like to put it on my skin, not on paper or anything like that, because there's just something about when the perfume starts to warm up on your skin, that blend, that melting into your skin. I feel like that's where the perfumes shine. Way more than when you put it on like a piece of paper, in my opinion. Anyway, so Forest of the Golden Dream. This one has mimosa, cypress, sandalwood, pink pepper, pine needles, balsam fir, got some coriander, some lemon, violet, eucalyptus, cardamom, patchouli, moss. And this is a beautiful, fresh, unisex, in my opinion, perfume. It is aromatic, it's powdery, it's got this sweet warmth and woodiness to it. And this automatically transported me. Oh, hi, Sadie. Okay, there comes one of my puppies. Say hi. This one transported me instantly to, it's a hot day outside, and I decided to take a walk into the forest to cool myself off and get some shade. And as soon as I get into the forest, it's so refreshing. And I can smell all the different trees around me. And as I'm walking through the forest, I can still see and feel like the sunbeams that are kind of peeking through the branches on the top of the forest. So because it's still got that warmth to it, but yet it's really refreshing and just very earthy and green and aromatic. And then my favorite part is in the dry down, where that eucalyptus, in my opinion, on my skin chemistry, the eucalyptus comes out and it shines, and it is so, there's something so serene and calming about it. And I just really love that it's not just, you know, you're in a forest, but there's so much else going on. And I love that there is a warmth and a sweetness to this perfume. It's not just straight up like, you know, pine trees and stuff like that. Like, there's so much more depth to it, and I love that. So the next one we're gonna be talking about is Venetian Belladonna. I hope I'm saying that name right. Venetian Belladonna. This one is, well, first let's get into the notes. So there's some violet tuberose, we got some cognac, suede, plum, iris, honey. We got beeswax in here, which I thought was interesting. Sandalwood, saffron, patchouli. So this one is a sweet, fruity floral. And you think like, okay, that is so basic. This is anything but basic. I have never smelled anything like this before. This one was, it's hard to pick favorites, but this one is one of my favorites. It is just so interesting. So it's got this sweet floralness to it, but then you have just a little bit of booziness there. And it's powdery, fruity, but also aromatic. I think it's extremely unique. And this would be great for somebody that loves that fruity floral aspect, but wants to smell very different than everyone else. This is the one for you. So the honey to me is, I don't want to say it's like dominant or I don't want to say that, because it never dominates the perfume, but the honey touches each and every note in this perfume in a very soft way. It's almost like it's blanketing the rest of the notes, but not in a dominating way, which I found really fascinating. And actually, I'm gonna put this one back on because, yeah, all these perfumes, you know, like they're all, so I would say either strong to beast mode, like in that range of either strong to, or beast mode, and they last. They're the type of perfumes that like last all day on your skin. This one is just, I've just never smelt a fruity floral like this before. It's just so, I don't know how, like it blows my mind sometimes, and it gets me so excited for perfumes, you know, in general, when I smell something like this that is so different and so fun, and I'm like, wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one is, like I said, I don't want to say favorites, but this one is probably my very favorite. This one is like 11 out of 10. It's just, I could smell my arm all day. It's so addictive. So the next one we're going to be talking about is called Bloodflower. And this one has some licorice, rose, clove, orris, amber. And this one I would say could be, it's feminine, leaning on unisex. And it's got soft spices. There's a sweetness there. You get that floral and that patchouli. It's a warm, creamy amber. But then there's just this, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's my imagination because of the name Bloodflower. But I swear I pick up a hint of like a metallicness in there. And when I smell this perfume as a whole, it transports me to this, it's like midnight and it's a full moon and you're in like an enchanted garden full of red roses, and there's thorns all over the red roses. And that's just where this perfume takes me in my mind. It's very, very alluring and mysterious. There's a mysterious quality to this perfume that I thought was really interesting. Now, was it one of my favorites? No, just because it's not really my scent type of perfume, but it was so much fun to play with because of where it took me and led me to this story. And I just love when a perfume can do that, transport you somewhere else. I think that's a lot of fun. So the next one we're gonna be talking about is Midnight Datura, Midnight Datura. This one is another 11 out of 10. Love, love, love this one. This is another one of my favorites. So we've got tuberose, heliotrope rum, magnolia, violet, jasmine. There's some lily of the valley, some vanilla, nutmeg, amber, sandalwood. We got oranges and bergamots, green leaves, lavender, and some balsam fir in the base, some pepper. And so this has a lot going on. And this is very feminine, in my opinion. It's very powdery, feminine, fresh, white floral, and it feels soft. Not the scent. The scent is powerful, but I mean, just the feel of it is like, there's a soft, feminine, I don't know, just vibe to it. There is a hint of booziness in there, and you pick up on the, like it's a sweet nutmeg and the spices and the vanilla, and just there's so many different things going on, and you can smell them all, but yet it's all perfectly blended at the same time. Like it's so cohesive, I think is the right word I'm trying to think of. It's just blended really good, really good. And the citruses in this are my favorite type of citruses, which are like the sun-kissed citruses. They have that warm sweetness to them, like they've been sitting out in the sun for a while. I love that type of citrus note. And I thought that this had a classy sophistication to it, but also very wearable at the same time. It very intoxicating. It had such a, although it was a powdery white floral, there is a underlying, like there's a creaminess there that is so addictive smelling and very intoxicating. And the lavender in the base, just once you get to that base where the lavender is, it feels like this dreamy, soft ending to like a wonderful story, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like this perfume takes me to I am at a wedding outside. It's an expensive wedding outside in a courtyard somewhere, you know, and the greenest grass and the most like well-kept, you know, bushes and things everywhere. And there's white tablecloths on all the tables, and there are white flowers everywhere. White flowers on the tables, white flowers as decorations everywhere. The bride is holding white flowers, and she's in this beautiful flowing dress, and she feels so, you can look at her and she doesn't look like nervous or like scared, like most people are the day of their wedding. Like, I know I was like a nervous wreck the day of my wedding, but no, this bride, like, when I smell this perfume, I just think of somebody, like everyone's calm, everyone's chill, everyone is confident and just relaxed and having fun. And then as the night comes to a close and it starts to get dark out, there's like candles lit on the tables and people are sipping on their cocktails and just chatting amongst themselves. Again, the white florals, like, you know, they're still everywhere, the decorations. And then the lavender that is what kind of it just kind of eases you to the end of the story where it's like, okay, now, you know, it's time to come home and kick off my shoes, you know, after having so much fun at this wedding. Like that is just where my mind goes when I smell this, and absolutely loved this one. The next one we're gonna look at is Digitalis. I hope I'm saying that right. This one has cucumber, and it's a very realistic cucumber too. There's some violet, moss, fern, pepper, coriander. We've got some violet, iris, incense, jasmine, neroli. And this is unisex for sure. This is aquatic, fresh, green, aromatic. It has this earthiness to it. And like I said, that cucumber, you can really pick up on that cucumber. And there's also just a touch of sweetness there. And it almost gives off, because of the fresh green aromaticness to this, I feel like I'm picking up like a hint of mint, like just in the background, not very strong, but in the background, like there's a little bit of mintiness to this perfume. And I picture, as soon as I sprayed this out and started smelling it, and it took me to some sort of spa resort. And I am in a fluffy white robe out on my balcony after just getting a, 2-hour massage. And I'm sitting out, and it's a resort that's in the mountains. So I'm sitting out on my balcony and I'm seeing, like, I'm taking in the scenery of the mountains there. And there's a little bit of like fog, surrounding the mountains and the trees and stuff. And then I'm sipping on a ice cold water with like cucumber slices in it. And that's just where it takes me. So the next one we're gonna go over is Hemlock. And this one is kind of similar to, Eoent in the way that it doesn't have gasoline, but it does have a really interesting note that makes this whole perfume just really fun. So it's got rum, benzoin, vanilla, and then it's got vinyl in the notes. And then you got some pink pepper, some green leaves, we got suede, cinnamon, Jasmine Song, clove, patchouli. This one I would definitely consider, well, feminine, but you know, could be, I feel like it could be unisex as well. I think it's unisex, I feel like. It's warm, spicy, amber vanilla. There's a resinous sweetness coming from this perfume. A little bit boozy. And there's just this hint of what I consider to be kind of a rubbery smell in the background. Not burnt rubber or anything like that, but like an actual, like a, I don't know, like a rubber. I just smell like a little bit of rubber in the background. And you would think like, again, like who wants to smell that on a perfume? But it goes so well with the overall perfume as a whole. It's blended so well in there. And this takes me to when I was little. It instantly reminded me of it. And it's so funny because I haven't thought about this until I smelled this perfume, and it took me back to when I was little. I watched this cartoon called Dixie's Diner. And there was like, you know, street racing, and you know, you had the leather jackets with the popped collars and the poodle hoop skirts and the checkered flag stuff going on in a diner, and it just instantly reminded me of that cartoon and that atmosphere when I smelt this. I thought this was extremely unique, and I really enjoyed going on a trip in my mind with this one. So the next one we're going to look at is Lily of the Valley. And this one has Lily of the Valley, obviously. We got some dewdrops, leather, vetiver, sandalwood, rose, neroli, vanilla, orange blossom, jasmine. And this one I found to be definitely more feminine, and I feel like it has this aromatic, fresh, green woodiness to it. The leather mixed with the white florals I thought was really interesting. And then you get this like creamy, like vanilla and orange blossom and jasmine. And then as this dries down all the way, it becomes a little soapy, but to me, I don't mind a little bit of soapiness smelling in my perfumes. But it dries down to be a little soapy, very clean, green, fresh, just fresh, clean vibe is what this gives off. And I really enjoyed this one as well. So the next one we're going to be talking about is Mandrake. And this one is supposed to be for men, but I would definitely say it's unisex. Like I could see myself wearing this for sure, because it's got rhubarb, apple, pomegranate, suede. We got birch, sandalwood, Madagascar vanilla, we got some cardamom. And this is, I mean, as soon as you spray it, you get just like a cloud of juicy, sweet, green, tart apple and pomegranate and the rhubarb. It's got just a killer opening with those fruity notes. It's like they're tart, crisp, but also juicy, sweet at the same time, and they just kind of poof right in your face, and it's ooh, I really enjoyed that. And then it's got this touch of, and then so you start to get this touch of suede like in the background. She's not like, you know, in your face, she's, you know, more off in the background. And this had a very aromatic, woody, warm spice to it. Sweet, fruity vanilla-ness surrounding you. And then as it dried down, this reminds me of an apple shampoo. It's not necessarily soapy. I don't get like an actual soap smell from Mandrake, but it just has that apple, that fresh apple perfume, or I'm sorry, fresh apple shampoo smell to it. And I love that. That, to me, I find that extremely sexy on a man or woman. That, I don't know, just something about apple shampoo. I don't know. I don't know if it's because in my youth, watching those Herbal Essence commercials that used to be on, where it was always like a sexualized like commercial for Herbal Essence, and I just love the smell of apple shampoo. I just absolutely love it. Addictive. And so I think this would be beautiful on a man or woman, in my opinion, although it's geared towards men, I believe. Just really love this one. This one was probably one of my favorites as well. The other two, Belladonna one is my very favorite. And then the Midnight Datura would probably be my second favorite. And this one would probably be my third favorite. This one was really up there. I loved that. Oh, just love that smell. Love that smell so much. The last one we're gonna be talking about is Poppy Soma, I believe is how it's pronounced. And this one has some pepper, labdanum. It has some red pepper, like actual red, like a red chili pepper, I believe. So there's gardenia, incense, Jasmine Song, some musk. And this is very feminine, in my opinion. The dry down is when it becomes a little bit unisex to me. The beginning's more feminine and the dry down's more unisex, in my opinion. So this is spicy, warm, amber, white floral. There again is that resinous sweetness that I really enjoy. And there was this, it's also like, it's dense and heavy. And I instantly picture this being like a date night scent. This is a mysterious woman in a black dress, and she's very alluring, and she's like drawing you in with this perfume, almost like you're being put under a spell or something. Like it has that type of scent to it, that vibe to it that I love. So that was the Discovery set, and I just, you know, if you really love just playing with perfumes, I definitely recommend picking up a Discovery set. It doesn't have to be this Discovery set. I'm never at any point when I make these videos trying to sell you guys anything. You know, try Discovery Kit from Fleur, try Discovery Kit from Kayali, any Discovery Kit. It doesn't have to be the one I'm talking about today. But just, there's so much, and just put it away for a rainy day, to get out on a rainy day. So much fun. And I haven't had this much fun with perfumes in a while. Just sitting down on the floor with a bunch of samples, just being transported to other places. Just, I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to know in the comment section, have you tried any of these that I talked about in this video? And what do you think about this house, Quartana, as a whole? I don't feel like I've heard too much about them in general in the fragrance community, but I could be wrong. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.